All right, well, after taking a week off and not producing a video last week, Mabel and I are back. You can probably see her there. We are back and we are heading out, and this is going to be another geocaching and hiking video. So if you don't like those kind of videos, I'm sorry, but that's all I've been doing lately on the days off, and this is another one. Let's roll. Mabel saw the neighborhood cat wandering around and kind of lost her mind there, but she settled back in for a bit, and I've got her clipped into my seatbelt so she can't actually jump out of the windows if she wanted, so that's good. Regardless of what happens on our hike, it's a beautiful day for a drive. It's, according to the thermometer on the truck here, it's about 21 degrees Celsius. There's a bit of a haze in the air from some forest fire smoke that's blowing in from somewhere. But I mean, this is a beautiful drive any time of the year. And yeah, like I said, it's going to be a great day no matter what happens on the actual hike. So I rolled the windows up to try and minimize the amount of dust I'm going to get inside the truck. Alright, I thought I had overshot the turn, but apparently this is it. The lake is down, called Bible Camp Road, and this appears to be it. So it has rained a fair bit. We'll see how well maintained this road is. I've never been to Cow Lake before, so new territory for me. So we just went through a major off-highway vehicle staging area. There were quads and quad trails everywhere. I'm continuing further down the road. The cache is about 2 kilometers away down here. So that's got Mabel all anxious because she thought we were stopping, but clearly we're not. So far the road seems okay. I just flipped myself into 4-wheel drive, not really because I needed it, but just coming up this hill and on this wet road, if there is a soft spot, I don't want the rear tires to spin and dig myself down. So I figured better to use it now and avoid that situation. So apologies to my dad, who always told me the thing with 4-wheel drive is it just means you get further away from civilization before you get into trouble. He never wanted to own a vehicle with 4-wheel drive. He always said it was far, far better to get stuck close to the road. Those puddles haven't proven to be any trouble. I mean, there's a good solid road under them. We're still about 1 kilometer from the cache. We've kind of been running parallel to it and haven't really been closing any distance. that's changing a little bit now. Seeing some signs of life, just past a truck with a quad there, and looks like there's some more vehicles up here at this little clearing area. Just past another full-sized truck. It always gives me a little more confidence when I see other full-sized vehicles out here, because it indicates to me I'm still on the right track. If I start seeing only quads, then I'll start getting nervous. And here we are. I think I should have read the map in a little more detail. It seems that the road I came in on here ends at this church camp, and everything around here is private property. So there's one cache just a little ways back down the road, but that appears to be the only one I can get from this road. The other 3 caches in this area all appear to be accessed from a quad trail that's on the other side of the lake. I don't really feel like walking in on that quad trail because of the amount of rain there's been. It'd be really wet and muddy and just not a fun experience. So today's probably going to turn into more of a little cache and drive or drive and cache than it is a hike, but that's okay. And I think this first cache is going to be a bust because there's people with quads right where I need to be. I'm just going to pull over here on the side of the road and get out with Mabel. I have a feeling she might need a bathroom break or something. We've been on the road for about an hour so far, and she's just getting absolutely crazy here behind me. Now, the other reason I stopped having come this far, the least I can do is actually take a look at the lake. So in looking at the map, I think the caches might be on this ridge just over my shoulder here. And there is a pathway here that kind of goes in that general direction. I don't know if I can get there from here, but I'm going to give it a shot. If nothing else, it's a nice day for a walk in the woods. If I can keep Mabel out of the water, that is. I think the people with the quad were having a mechanical issue because they were just kind of sitting by it with the hood of it up. The nice thing was there was a cut off into the woods before I got too close, so I didn't disturb them. And I know they've already been in contact with people, so I know they're okay. So I was just sneaking a peek at the geocache description and learned that it was placed by our friends Dale and Janice. So that's a pleasant little surprise. So that's given me the motivation. I'm going to try and find it. We're 300 some meters away. It's up on a ridge somehow. The cache name has the word cut line in it, so I'm hoping I might be able to find a cut line for some easier access, because looking around here, there appears to be an awful lot of deadfall and dense brush between me and the top of that ridge. Now, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but in checking the topo map, yes, there is a cut line that runs up to the top of the ridge right between the two caches up there, so that's what I'm going to aim for. If you have geocached for any amount of time, one of the first things you learn is that when it comes to geocaching, the shortest distance between 2 points is not a straight line. Very often, there's a much better way to get there that does not involve just bushwhacking straight up. That works too sometimes. So it's kind of funny. You'll remember in the McLean Creek hike, I saw the fellas on dirt bikes where they were like, we've never seen a hiker out here. Well, I just came across a group of hikers, and the one woman commented on, you are the first other person we've ever seen out here in 10 years of hiking this trail. So it's kind of becoming a DanOCan theme. Hiking in places where most normal people just don't seem to go. So just emerged onto this, which looks like a quad trail. And I was thinking, oh, maybe this is the cut line. And then I looked, and I'm like, that doesn't look like much of a cut line. But I checked the map, and unfortunately, that is it. So we've got some bushwhacking to do anyway. Actually, I've changed my mind. That looks pretty steep. Not exactly vertical. I could probably climb it, but it's 274 meters, and that's quite a ways up. I'm going to continue along this track to get to the Cow Lake Quad Trail, and then see if I can take the ridge from the north side. It might be a more gentle approach. Now, I said I wasn't going to hike along a muddy quad trail, but, you know, here we are doing what we got to do sometimes. Let's go see how that approach works. Now, at least unlike the McLean Creek hike, this time I remembered to bring the Pocket Mobile 2, so at least you're getting some stabilized video. Now, of course, I wasn't planning on actually doing these caches. I was just going to do the one that was right by where I parked. So I didn't bring the lapel mic. So I hope the audio is okay. Yeah, this is exactly what I was hoping to avoid, but I don't think I'm going to be able to. The dog's already muddy. I'm sure I'm going to get muddy, so I'm just going to go for it. I can kind of stay over on this side on the high ground and use these sticks so I can avoid it. There's no hope for Mabel. Come on, dog, don't drink that. So in looking at the topo maps, this appears like it's going to be the most gentle approach to gain the ridge. Certainly the amount of deadfall down here is significantly less. I'm just trying to see if there's anything along here that looks like a game trail. This might be my best approach right through here, so I wish I had brought my hat, but again, I wasn't planning on going more than, 100 meters from the truck, so I put sunscreen on before we left the house. Hopefully that's enough. Let's see where we can get to. So we're about 230 meters from the cache, and basically we're just going to try and work our way up through the forest here, following the best line we can that sort of takes us in the general direction. I've changed targets. I'm going for the northernmost cache now, called Cut Line Fever. So hopefully, like I said, it's only 210 meters. Hopefully we can find a good path here, not too much deadfall, and see if we can get up there. So status update, we're about 75 meters from the cache as the crow flies. The downside is that still a lot of brush, a lot of uphill, but you can see the sky up there. So we're coming to the top of this ridge. Just got to get there. So the cache is up here to the left, but I'm kind of angling and going over to the right. It looks like I can avoid some deadfall, and I suspect once I get up on the ridge, the hiking will be a little bit easier. Now my hiking boots got wrecked. The soles basically ripped right off of them. So I've been doing all this hiking in just running shoes, not the best footwear. That's another reason why I'm choosing to angle up and to the right, is it will let me trade some of that vertical effort for a longer distance. It does mean kind of walking on a weird angle on the side of the hill, but that's probably the lesser of two evils right now. Probably the biggest evil, and I don't know if they'll show on camera, is the number of black flies around here. They are just absolutely swarming us. Didn't put bug spray on, didn't even think of it because it hasn't been an issue this year. But between the amount of sweat I'm putting off and the amount of carbon dioxide I'm spewing, holy crap, the flies are having a field day out here. The other thing that makes this stupid hard is Mabel is the smart one of the two of us, and she keeps trying to go back down the hill. And of course, she's attached to my backpack, so she's dragging me backwards with her, and it's, like I said, it's an obstacle I don't need. This final push to the ridge, I'm already basically going from tree to tree, pulling myself up with the trees. And remember how I said earlier that when you're caching, the shortest distance isn't a straight line? This proves it. Look what's over there. That's a nicely defined path that runs right along the ridge. So, had we carried along the Cow Lake Quad Trail a little bit longer, we probably would have intersected this path. And man, would that have made this trip easier. I've already stepped out of one of my shoes, so it's just kind of hanging on. Mabel twisted and tangled up my feet so much I could only move my ankles about 6 inches. And some of those final steps, I needed to move more than that, so that was not a fun experience. Well, it was fun now that it's done. And we're only 20 meters to the cache. So let's find this sucker, grab some shade, grab some water for the dog and I, and enjoy the accomplishment. Okay, made it to ground zero. The hint says northeast side of an old tree stump. So this could have been it. I don't see it. It's a regular size cache, so it should be fairly obvious. I just got to take a few minutes to see if we can find it here. I mean, according to the coordinates, I should be right on top of it. Oh, maybe this tree stump over here. There is a bit of signal bounce going on. This looks like a logical spot. I don't see anything hidden down in there though. There's more tree stumps over here. Not a thing yet. Time to read some previous logs, I guess. Okay. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. I'd been looking for about 15-20 minutes. I had just given up. Threw the backpack back on, punched in the next cache, went to leave, and stumbled across this. I was like, that set of sticks looks suspicious. There's the cache. It's been over 2 years since anyone's been up here. It was last found in June of 2021. So it's nice to get that one. I was getting a little worried that this was going to be a bust. This is not the cache that was hidden by Dale and Janice. This was hidden by my geocaching friend Don, also known as Sleepy Hollow. When I came around the lake, I ended up getting closer to this one first. So the one I'm going for next is the one hidden by Dale and Janice, our friends who hid it under the combined name of Scrappy. Oh my God, I must not have had enough water. Okay, so after that ordeal, both getting to that one and finding it, I'm hoping this one will be easier to find. It certainly should be an easier hike given the good trail conditions we have here, and that I've had a chance to retie my shoes. There's a lot of different trails out here. There's the cut line that I was originally looking for. You can see heading off to the west, it's pretty well defined. Not so much looking to the east, so I won't say we took the easy route to get up here, but we took an easier route. And the best part is I just heard my phone send a notification, so being up on the ridge, I probably still have internet access, which is good. I have Google Maps set to always share my location with Emily, so when I hear that, I at least know it'll update on the map and she'll have a better idea of where I am, just in case anything ever goes horribly, horribly wrong. I really should invest in like a spot satellite receiver for these solo hikes, but you know, I'm too cheap to pay for the subscription, even though it could save my life one day. God, I hope that's not foreshadowing. And as I was hoping, this was an easier one to find. No spoilers, but you know, it's pretty good. Nice winter-friendly hide. So there we go. Mabel and I are signed in under the previous log. It's been over 2 years since anyone's been here to find the cache. So the Sleepy Hollow cache was hidden out here in 2013, March of 2013. This one's a bit newer, hidden in April of 2018. So there we go. Hidden by, oh my God, my brain just failed me again. Scrappy Lou, yes. Combination of Casher Lou and Scrap Happy J. Scrappy Lou, that was the name I was trying to pull out of my head here twice, and man, there's a giant fly on the lens. Whoa, okay, I told you, they're swarming. All right, let's start. There is another cache north side of the lake. I could take the cut line or the path back to the north, go get that one, and then come back the way Mabel and I originally came. But I'm really curious to see where this trail comes out if I follow it to the south. So Mabel and I are going to head to the south. That does mean leaving a cache out here for a future trip, but that's okay. I'm not a slave to clearing out the map like I was in my earlier caching days. And like I said, I really want to know where this trail comes out on the south end, since that seems to be the easiest way to get in here with a full-size vehicle. This has to be one of the most well-defined trails that I have followed that do not appear on either the built-in topo maps that came with the GPS or the Southern Alberta trail maps. I mean, I thought they covered pretty much everything, and it's been a long time since I've been on a trail this well defined that wasn't on one of those two sets of maps. So quite interesting. So pathway has kind of been paralleling the Bible Camp road that I drove in on. So I'm actually right now getting a little bit further away from where we parked, but like I said, I really wanted to follow this trail out all the way to see where we can catch it if we decide to come back here sometime. This is actually, despite all the quads and off-road vehicles, actually a pretty nice area, way quieter than I expected. And yeah, I can see coming back here again, so having a track log will be useful. Well, we've been out here long enough that the battery on the Pocket 2 mobile basically died, so I can't use it anymore. The trail has basically dead-ended in a swamp now. The road that we need to be on is just over that little ridge there. It's like really close. Like I'm thinking 20, 25 meters away. It's just that there's a lot of water between me and that road. Well, let's see what we can do. I'm hoping we can swing wide around it this way. Mabel really wants to get in there and swim. Oh God, it's wet. Very wet. Still wet. There has to be a way through. I'm just going to try and keep picking the... Nope, wrong side of the tree, Mabel. Come around this side. This side. Nope, wrong way again. Nope. No, oh my God. Now you're really twisted. Okay, come back. This side. There you go. Okay, this way. This way. All right, let's go. Swamp. Swamp. I mean, there is the road right there. I just don't know how to get there from here. That doesn't involve swimming. Well, this is not getting any better. Oh boy. Okay. Hopped across there. Didn't get too wet. I think we're gonna make it. I think we're gonna make it after all. Here we are. And if we come back to do that trail again, which I absolutely 100% would do, this is where to park, and that looks like the better approach. Okay, there we go. We're back on a main road. Nice, easy walking. It's about 1 kilometer to that very first cache I wanted to find where that quadder was stopped. So I'm going to see if he's still there or not. And if he's not, I'm going to take the opportunity to find that cache. Hang on, Mabel's twisted. I got to spin around. If he is, I'll save that for another day and come back and try again some other time. So for now, I'm just going to basically put you back in my pocket and just carry on walking down the road. Okay, it looks like that quad is gone. It was parked right here. This is where we started our trip. So let's see if we can't find this cache. Okay, I had to duck off the road here about 60 meters from the cache to avoid going onto Bible camp property. So hopefully I can still get there from here. We're 45 meters away and just kind of picking our way through the woods, trying to make sure we don't accidentally trespass here. This looks like a bit of a trail, at least as much of a trail as we've seen. I can also see the camp through the trees there, so not a big fan of this placement at this point. We're going to try and be stealthy. Okay, so in the spirit of stealth, I'm being very quiet. The hint talks about being under the corner of some juniper with flagging about 5 meters from the cache. The last 2 or 3 finders over the last couple years, no one has found it. It was found in like May or June of 2021. It's been looked for a couple times since then and no one's found anything. And given the proximity to the camp property here, I would not be surprised if it was gone. I mean, this looks like it was a juniper bush, but it's been pretty well walked over and whatnot. And that's really the only thing that seems to match the hint. Like the previous seekers, I haven't seen any flagging either, but I'm not sure. Could very well be gone. Sometimes reading the previous logs isn't a good thing because it colors my perception of things, and I assume if the last few people haven't found it, I probably won't either. So I'm giving up the search pretty quick, partly for that reason, partly because, like I said, it's right next to the camp property and I can hear a generator or something running there. So I know there's people around, and I'd rather not have to try and explain to someone what I was doing lurking around the perimeter of a Bible camp. Just not a good look. Speaking of looks, you should have seen the look Mabel gave me as we walked past the truck to go search for this cache. She stopped at the truck and sat down beside it and was like, dude, how come you're not letting me in? She's done. It's pretty hot. The Garmin temperature sensor is reading 31. I don't know if it's actually that warm, but it's a pretty hot day out here. So I'm kind of glad we're wrapping it up, getting out of here before the fun disappears. So assuming everything goes well and there's no adventures on the way home, I will see you in the next video. Oh, don't lick that. I got a drink out of that yet.